Greetings everyone, welcome to Rebelos Kenpo Karate. I'm your host Joe Rebelo, and in tonight's show we're going to be working on the use of one of the many traditional Okinawan weaponry taught in the art of Kobujutsu, and its modern incarnation, Kobudo. And that would be the use of the sai. The sai is a traditional Okinawan weapon with roots in China, which is originally utilized as a religious implement and also later on in the Okinawan and Japanese culture as a tool used by the local police. Again, these tools would be utilized to defend yourself against drunken samurai. Again, also the Okinawans originally utilized it against the Samasur clan that came into the Ryukyu Islands and took it over. And again, this is one of the martial arts weapons that really always was, in some way, shape, and or form, a weapon. Now, the sai can be utilized in two basic configurations. Initially, extended and then contracted. Now, there are many other positions that can be utilized, extending the weapon down the length, like so. But again, the key ingredient here is the use of its contracted or extended position. In tonight's show, we'll be showing you some sai basics and also going over some basic techniques, or waza, and also kata. But without further ado, let's get into working with the sai. Welcome back. Now, let's go over some of the basic or kihon taught in the art of Okinawan Kobujutsu with the use of the sai. The first element we work on are Adachi Stances. Now, there are many different stances that are taught in Okinawan Kobujutsu. Again, Isuke coming to attention. This is Shinzentai. Mind, body, spirit, united as one. Stepping out with the left foot shoulder width apart, this is Musubi Dachi, a natural stance, showing nothing but preparing for anything. From here, we go on to our next stance, Kibadachi, horse stance, or horse riding posture. Knees are bent forward, legs are bowed out. This is a training stance, but can also be utilized as a fighting stance as well. From a side Kibadachi, Yoko Kibadachi, or a 45-degree stance. Very similar in relationship to Fudodachi, pointing the front foot straight ahead instead of the 45-degree angle as a horse stance. From there, we go on to our next stance, which we can do from the aforementioned Fudodachi, which is known as Nikodachi, drawing into a cat stance, up on toe, 90% of your weight on your back leg, only 10% on your front leg. Now, the position of your Nikodachi is based on whatever foot position your previous stance is in. If you're in a horse stance and you draw to a cat or Nikodachi, your rear foot is on a 90-degree angle. If you're in our next stance, the Zenkutsudachi or forward stance, my front knee is bent like a bow, my back leg straight like an arrow, 80% of my weight on my front leg, 20% on my rear leg. From a side view, if I draw the Nikodachi from here, my rear foot obviously is in a 45-degree position. There are many other stances that are taught as well. Positions such as the crossover or kosadachi. So from our basic stance, as we cross over, back foot comes up on the ball of the foot. And by the way, the weight distribution is exactly as like the previously aforementioned cat stance. And stepping back, stepping through, and advancing, or retreating back. In either instance, whether we step forward or back with our crossover step, the kosadachi is still adhered to. These are just some of the many stances that we teach in Kobujutsu. But now, let's focus on the upper body actions and what we do with the sai itself. First of all, the first element of kihon are blocks. There's no greater feeling in the world when someone attacks you with a weapon and you're able to block it and defend yourself. Now, again, from style to style, the names may change slightly. But the key ingredient is the basic understanding of the blocks are adhered to. Your ability to block and stop an action from harming you. As I step back now, my first action is going to be age uke, the upward rising block. I bring my weapon across and I turn my arm so that the metal edge of the weapon is protecting. I don't want to block flat and strike with my flesh. Rather, I want to use the metal. And I want to make sure it's tight to my body, tight to my forearm, so it does not ricochet and rebound into my flesh. Again, age uke. Age uke. Stepping back. Age uke. Stepping forward. Age uke. Our next block is known as soto uke. This is known as the outward block. Now, some people will refer to this as ude, uchi, or it's actually ude uke, as opposed to uchi. And you're saying, what does that mean? Well, soto means outside. Of course, uke, as we've mentioned previously, means block. So again, if I'm moving from here, if I turn my arm in this fashion, I'm still blocking with my forearm and not my weapon. So in this instance, sometimes I will flip the sai over so that the metal will be blocking to the outside of my forearm as I block. Again, from here, circling and blocking out. Circling and blocking out. Now we should mention about the yoko, side or wings of the weapon, that are designed to trap, lock, and hook into the flesh or into the weapon. Again, like so. This is an important feature. Also, the points at the end of the wings or yoko, the sides, are designed to strike into the opponent's flesh. So that if I'm blocking, I'm actually can also strike, or uchi, as I mentioned before, a circular striking action that can be done to my opponent's limb. All these are taught within the action of soto uke, or sometimes uchi uke, a striking block. Also, in empty hand, they will use the term ude, which means forearm, utilizing the outside of my forearm to block. Now, of course, the opposite of outside is inside. At that point, we use chudan uke. Now, chudan means middle gate. You have three major gates. Your upper gate goes from the top of your head down to your neck. Your middle gate, or chudan, goes from your neck down to your waist, and then gedan from your waist down to your feet. So in this case, I'm going to bring my weapon up, and again, I'm going to block with the metal section. The metal section, blocking here with the metal section. Again, I don't want to block with my flesh, and again, I'm going to block past my face. We say in martial arts, if you don't block past your face, you won't have a face left to block. So again, bringing the weapon up, stepping in, blocking past your face. Stepping back, blocking in, and once again, stepping back and blocking in. At this point, we now progress on to the final, or I shouldn't say the final, but the next optical block, again, the mandatory block, which is shuto uke, an extended knife hand block. Now again, in this case, I'm still blocking with the metal, turning my hand outward. Normally, traditionally, we would come in and strike on this angle. Again, striking here, still blocking with the metal, and utilizing a knife hand block. Now that block can be singular or it can be double, both hands being utilized, blocking in and out. But initially, the single shuto or knife hand block, shuto uke, is utilized with my single hand blocking outward. My single hand blocking outward. And again, blocking with the metal, not the flesh. Our final block from a contracted position, as we talked about earlier, extended and contracted, would be gedan barai, the downward sweeping block. Now again, from this position, I bring the weapon up to my ear and utilize a sweeping motion. Now notice how far I turn my hand to ensure that the metal is blocking and protecting. Again, bringing it up like so across to the ear, sweeping all the way along. Barai, a sweeping block. Gedan barai, a downward sweeping block. And that's the key. Turning the hand over, blocking in that alignment and position. Now, once we understand these basic rudimentary blocks taught from a contracted position, we then utilize the same action with an extended motion. So now, from here, as I step through, I bring the weapon up in an extended motion, striking with the metal, flipping back. Again, stepping through, across the body, flipping up and extending up, blocking at a 45-degree angle, pressing my thumb against the center point of the cross guard of the sai, and then flipping it back. Coming across, extend up, flip back, cross, extend up, flip back. Our next block is utilizing the soto, or outward action. Bringing the weapon across, flipping out and striking with the outward action in a blocking configuration. Remember, a block that causes damage to your opponent becomes a strike. Flip back, cross, flip out, block, flip back. Stepping back, out, back, stepping back, block out, and back. Now, let's progress on to our next block, which is the inward block. From here, we're going to extend the weapon out, blocking in past our face. Flip the weapon back. Flip the weapon out, block in past your face. Flip back. Now, retreating. Step back, flip up, blocking in. Flip back. Flip out, step back, block in, and back. Now, there are other configurations as well. You can also utilize a circling motion and block in. Flip back. Circle around your head, block in, flip back. Circle around your head, block in, and back. Circle around your head in extended position, block in, and back. Another configuration of the soto uke, or outward block, is also cross-referenced with the shuto uke, the knife hand block. In this case, I bring it across and strike out so the sai is pointing with the prongs on either side. Flip back. Cross, flip out. The prongs are on either side, flip back. Advancing, outward block, flip. Advancing, outward block, flip. Last but not least, among these blocks, we have the Geidan Barai. Now from here, I bring the weapon all the way across and sweep out and down. So the sai is in a vertical position. Flip back. Across, sweep down and block, flip back. Stepping back, flip down and block, sweep back, step back, hand up, sweep down and block, and back. These are some of the major blocks that are taught in Kenpo with the use of the sai, or sai jutsu. Now, one is a sai, two are a zai. The S letter sound changes into a Z sound. But again, in either instance, the weapon is highly effective. At this point, let's go into some of our basic punching, suki, linear action, and uchi, circular motions with the sai. Now, let's continue on to our next section of kihon, or basics, in the art of sai jutsu in Kenpojutsu and Kobudo. This is the use of suki and uchi. Suki is the use of linear thrusting actions. From our basic position of kibadachi, horse stance, our first action, note how I draw when I draw my hands back. I do not draw them back in a horizontal position so that the yoko do not stab me in the sides. Rather, I utilize what's called tate, a vertical position, and bring them to my sides, so I can punch from this configuration without stabbing myself. The first basic strike we're going to do, a thrust, is seiken. Now again, if I place the two sides together to compare and contrast, again, horizontally, my hand comes palm up, and then turns palm down, punching with the two major metacarpals of my fist. When utilizing the sai from the tate position, I turn my hand over and punch. And then when I return back to the tate position. Migi, right, hidari, left. Ich, ni, san, shi, go, rok, shich, hach, ku, ju. Now, that is known as seiken. Again, as we move closer, seiken, again, punching with the pommel of the weapon, as opposed to the two major metacarpals of the fist. At this point, we'll now go on to our second action, which is tate suki. The hand stays in its vertical position and does a vertical thrust straight out in front of you. Now again, some styles will aim to the center line, some will punch even with the shoulder, but the key ingredient is the hand is held in a vertical position with the index finger extending down the length of the weapon, like so. Again. Tate suki, vertical thrust. Ich, ni, san, shi, go, ruk, shich, hach, ku, ju. Our next motion is an inverted uppercut action, known as riken. It can be under the chudan, or jodan rather, up under the chin and into the face. chudan into the solar plexus or abdomen, and even gedan into the groin. Just like seiken and tate, suki, they can be done to all three levels. Seiken to jodan, chudan, or gedan, tate, jodan, chudan, or gedan, or riken, jodan, chudan, or even gedan. This particular action we will use to chudan, striking the person up under the chin or to the throat, if the head is bowed forward into the eye socket or the bridge of the nose. Like so. Striking like so. Ich, ni, sang, shi, go, rup, shich, hach, ku, ju. Now again, when we look at the four major positions as we utilize an action with a punch, we utilize four basic configurations in relationship to torque. Allow me to demonstrate from a side view. Ich, ni, sang, shi. Ich, ni, sang, shi. In traditional Okinawan Kenpo-Jutsu, it's very rare you see the full inverted thrusting action. More in the orientation of Chinese Kung Fu systems that utilize, as the Chinese call them, the cha, or fork, or swing cha, double forked actions. Now, let's progress on to these same motions with the extended sai. And for a moment, let's review the important feature of learning how to extend and contract a sai. At this point, we see the sai in its contracted position. We're going to reach over with all four of our fingers, pressing between the thumb and the ridge section of the fingers, wrapping our fingers around the sai, turning, extending, and pressing with our sai in the center of the weapon so we do not get it involved in a cut or slash. Then from here, turning our thumb and placing it with our left hand in the left yoko, flipping the weapon palm up. We can then turn the hand and punch from that position. We can fold our elbow, reach and grab once again, pull with our fingers and push with our thumb to strike. Now there are many different ways we can align that. We can also punch in a vertical position, reach with our four fingers, push with our thumb and strike, and then flip back in a vertical alignment and configuration, tate. We can also extend the weapon up in a riken, or uppercut action, reach with our four fingers, push with our thumb, and strike overhead, and flipping back to our contracted position. Again, from here, placing the right thumb in the right prong, flipping back, and drawing back to tate, or vertical position. There are many more sophisticated and articulate motions that are taught in other forms of martial arts that utilize the sai. The Okinawan tradition, also from here, I can flip the weapon inward, stab, flip back, draw back. Flipping inward like so, stabbing, extending my thumb down, wrapping my other fingers like a fist as I extend my thumb down, flip back in a vertical position. I can also reach to the inside and then stab, flip back, flip out on a vertical position, stab, and then back. I can also flip the weapon horizontal position, turning over and stabbing. And you'll notice the hand's almost in that inverted vertical position we alluded to earlier. Or I can stab palm up like riken, the uppercut action. But again, flipping the weapon out, stabbing over, flip back, flip the weapon out, vertical thrust, and back. Again, flipping out, stabbing vertical thrust, and back. Again, flipping out, palm up, stabbing in an upward action, flipping back. Flipping out in an uppercut action, stabbing in an uppercut motion, and back. All these actions can be done in front or to the side. All these motions can be done from a contracted or extended position, working on this drill to extend and press, flip and catch. Now, from the tsuki we go on to the uchi, circular motions. A circular motion, or uchi, can be done like so. We originally did age-uke. We'll shuffle back a little bit here and circle around, side strike. Just like the knife hand chop, or shuto. Ryoko shuto, chopping to the side of the neck. Blocking up, circle, chop, flip back. Block up, circle, chop, and back. Block up, circle, chop to the side, and back. Stepping back, blocking up, circle, chop, flip back. Stepping back, block up, circle, chop, and back. Advancing, blocking up, circle, chop, and back. Blocking up, circle, chop, and back. Another strike we can do utilizing a circular motion is uraken, the back fist. From here, advancing in, palm in, striking with the back of our fist, predominantly the two major knuckles or metacarpals of the hand. So again, across and strike. When applying this with the sai, bring it up in a vertical position, extend and strike, flip back. Bring it up, extend and strike, flip back. Stepping back, bring it up, extend, strike, back, weapon up, extend, strike, and back. Earlier, we discussed the action of thrusting with the extended sai. This could also be used for a strike known as the nukite, or spear hand, striking with our fingertips. Now, traditionally in certain karate systems, they will curl that middle finger. So the index finger, middle finger, and ring finger are all aligned together as one. Obviously, with the sai, we will extend the middle finger, or more importantly, the index finger, along the length of the weapon in a contracted position. When we extend it like so, we also utilize the tsuki motion, again, vertical, tate, riken action, and even horizontal. Now, people say, okay, could you turn it further over? But again, the alignment is already there when we do the horizontal action of an inverted vertical fist. But those are thrusting motions. Now, when we utilize circular motions, we can open the sai, swinging them in, striking down, and circling in a defensive shuto uke or shuto uchi. The shuto uchi is the knife hand strike, coming around and striking into the clavicle or collarbone, breaking it like so. Stepping back, circling around, striking and blocking. Stepping back, circling around, striking and blocking. Now, these are just a handful of the many movements that you can do with the sai from a traditional Okinawan perspective. Another important feature is also sliding the weapons down your arms to the inverted position. Now here, many of the circular motions can be used to hook and pull, circle, hook and pull, come across, strike and pull, come across, strike and pull. This motion obviously can also be done underhand to a very sensitive area and tear. In this particular position, also with the slight extended tips out to a 45, we can also utilize this in a hammering fashion in various paths to various targets with just the tip of the yoko, or wings. And there you have it. Some interesting aspects regarding some of the basic movements that can be done with the sai from a traditional Okinawan Kenpo-jutsu tradition. But there are many other styles that utilize the sai. And next, we'll go back and work on more interesting and advanced sai work from various cultures and martial arts. We'll be right back.
If you're buying rhino horn, you may be paying for more than just horn. You're paying for guns, bullets, poison arrows, chainsaws, axes, and machetes to hack off the face of the rhino. And you are paying for the life of a beautiful creature. So please tell your friends and relatives, never buy products made from rhino horn. When the buying stops, the killing can too. Kung Fu is attractive, steady, clever, elegant, powerful. It is a foundation of Chinese culture, inherited from our ancestors. Like tigers, they are a treasure of our world. We must pass these treasures to our children. Please do not buy or use any tiger products. Together, let's stop the trade in tiger forever. When the buying stops, the killing can too. Haishang, more tea!
We shouldn't be scared of tigers. They should be scared of us, because we're hunting them to near extinction. Tigers don't belong in our foods or our medicines. They belong in the wild. Please help make sure 2010 won't be our last year of the tiger.
Never buy any products made from these beautiful animals. When the buying stops, the killing can too. Haishang, tea!